Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this screenshot a couple of days ago. I asked them for the Corel file, and maybe they gave up with doing it or whatever. Haven't sent me the Corel file because I'm thinking she wants to make an ornament with these words in this truck or a truck like that. So I just went to the internet, and you can see that this is if I go to yellow box, object, order, back a page, you can see that's got a white bounding box. So we're going to take this truck. It's really large, so let's shrink it down. And you can see the ornament I've already done. Let me just move that out of the way. I'll keep the yellow box here for a second because I want to emphasize on this. So I'm going to go to object. No, excuse me. I've already made it small, so I'm going to go to trace bitmap, outline trace clip art. And it's going to trace it pretty well. And you can change the colors. I think she's engraving this, so you could do it both ways, black or white. I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to move this out of the way, and you can see the white. Now, a lot of engravers will not engrave the white. So I want to keep a copy of this. So I'm going to see how this thing is less than 2 inches. So I'm going to click off of it. You have to click off the yellow to get your nudge tool to work. So I'm going to make a copy of that. I hit the plus key and just I nudged it over with my right arrow because I want the copy. Now I'm going to go to object, group, and ungroup it. And I could take away the white like that. Or I could go to, well, here's a pretty good trick. I'm going to delete that truck. I'm going to grab that truck and I'm going to copy it, Control C. And by doing that, I can bring it back later. So now I'm going to grab this truck and I'm going to go to Edit, Find and Replace. It'll open up a window. I'm going to select. I should have made my bounding box quite a bit smaller, or my yellow box, so I can grab it more easily. So I'm going to click off of it. I'm going to grab white, and you can see I've got white selected. I'm going to go from selection. I'm going to go find all. And it found all the white. I'm going to Control G to group all the white together. Because if I don't, sometimes you just can't arrow it over. So there's all the white. So there's your truck. Now the reason I made a copy of it, because now I can Control V and bring the truck back. Because I want to see if I messed it up or if it looks good. And in the first video, I actually made it black. Now, there are some parts in here that are messed up, kind of like a watermark, but we can delete that and it made a hole. So what you could do to fix that, and yeah, she is engraving it, or they are engraving it. I'm going to take my 2-point line, and I'm going to make a line from right there to right there, a little bit off. I'm going to get my Smart Fill tool, set on black, and we'll see if it's the same black by doing this. And I'm going to fill that in. And it's a darker black. And I somehow made my line too thick, or it leaked a little bit. Let me back up here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take this truck and left click RGB black. Now it's going to be all black. Now, the easiest thing to do, and especially since we've got the copy, I'm going to select the old truck and I'm going to left click, right click, and outline. So there's what we need. Now what I'm also going to do is select it and make it a hairline. I'm still using somebody else's program that I need to just change. So this, by making it a hairline, it makes it a lot easier. I'm going to use the 2-point line, and I'm going to go from right there to right there. I don't like the way that they're also drawing. So I'm going to hit F12 on the keyboard, and I'm going to bring up this. I'm going to say hairline, and I actually am going to go ahead and change it to red and CMYK or RGB. And then say okay. And then you'd want to hit save as default. Now we can take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. See what it did? Now there's another part down here. This is pretty easy, I would think, just because it's all on the outside. Just don't get any other part of the line of the wheels. Now the downside of this is I don't think you can just take and just make it all black. You can't just, now that you've kind of broken it apart, you can't just go black, because, well, in that case it worked, but that's it. That's all you needed. So it did work. A lot of times you might have to use a smart fill tool. I think it's got everything. Okay, so we're done with that. I can take away my yellow box now. I can select that and get rid of that. Now, this is basically one group. So I'm going to use no, it's actually 41 object. It's not a group. That's why the boundary tool works. I'm going to create a boundary, and I'm going to nudge it over, and that didn't work because it's so many objects. So the better choice on that is to take this and go ahead and group it together, object, group, and group. Now you can't use the boundary tool because it's gone, but we can take a rectangle, take the smart fill tool, and I'd use something other than black. Let's just use a blue, fill that in, and that gave me a boundary. Now I can put blue in there and then nudge it down. And then I can left click, right click, and there's the outline of our truck. And I need to change that too because I didn't save it. So now there's the outline of your truck. Now, we don't want it to be right on the truck. Let me go ahead and get rid of this box. Go ahead and get rid of that. We can take this and go up to object order, or excuse me, effects, and we could contour just a little bit. This thing's pretty little, so I'm just going to say like 0.1 of a contour. No, I didn't look. I need it to the outside. That's still too big, and also need to use probably rounded corners. Let's go 0.05. That's still a little bit much, maybe. Let's go 0.04. Break the contour apart. Bring it up to your truck. Make it red, so you know it's a hairline, and then we can delete that. Okay, now you're going to want to make an ornament. I'm going to go ahead and make this bigger right now so I won't lose it. And we need to make an ornament. Normal ornaments would be like 3.5 to 4 inches. So let's make an oval or an ellipse, and let's make it 3.5 inches. And then let's control D and make it duplicate and make it 4. That'll give us a 1/4 inch around the ornament. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the top part. And this, let's work in the center of the page now. And then you'll see why in just a second. So let's move that out of the way. Move this out of the way. Hit P, put that in the center of the page. And we're going to take another ellipse and hit P. By doing this, when you raise it up and holding down the control button, it'll be right where it needs to be, perpendicular. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete the lines that you know you don't need. There you go. Now we still have an X because it's still a circle. So now and this is something you probably want to measure. That's less than 1/4 inch. Let's just put it right. Well, it snapped to higher, but that's good. I'm going to go ahead and take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in. What that did, it made everything perfect or joined together. Now, we don't have to work in the center of the page anymore, but I am. I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. I'm going to bring in my truck, and if you look at her truck, it's actually going the opposite direction. So we'll go ahead and make it go the opposite direction. Now, what I want to put the words in first. So let's go get your text tool. I hate when I'm printing, when I'm typing. That I can't see that I'm typing. But we can just, now see, I typed it all out at one time. And that's why I don't like typing when I can't see it. Okay, I'm going to go Control K to break that word apart. So now I've got individual words. I'm going to reduce them in size quite a bit. Now I'm going to do this before I put the truck in there for a couple of reasons. One, we need to make it, so we know this is 1/4 of an inch. So we need to make this with our ratio lock. Let's go 0.2. That'll make it less than 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to do the top one first. And I'm going to grab it. And I'm going to go text the path. And I'm going to put it on that path. Now it's on the bottom of the path, but that's fine right now. Because we can always move it around. And you can make it any font. And if you made the like it thicker, you could use thicker. Now the bottom is a little bit harder sometimes, but we'll see how it works out. So I'm going to grab it, text the path. You see it's upside down, but that's there. It actually changed. But leave it upside down on that line, because then you can mirror it both directions, and you get that. Now, at this point, I'm going to select it all. I'm going to go up to Object, break the 3 elements apart, because that way I can move these things around. I'm going to change my nudge factor to like 0.02. Let's zoom in here. And I'm going to grab this premium, and I'm going to nudge it up just a little. Now, I could have done this with text the path, but since I have to kind of do both of them, and I think there's actually, because it's still going to go along the same arch. See, there's really not too much room. And if you get where you could change your nudge factor to 0.01, grab that, and then nudge it back up a little bit. All right. For this part, I'm going to change my nudge factor to 2 inches. Now let's make it 5 inches. I'm going to grab the 2 texts, and I'm going to nudge them out of the way. Now I'm going to bring in my truck, and I'm going to go ahead and reduce it in size. And I'm going to bring it in. It's going to be quite a bit too big. Oh, I didn't get the outline. Matter of fact, for a second, I'm going to group it together, Control G, and hit P. It won't be in the center up and down, but it'll be left and right because of the fact that, so now, because it's got that little tab on it, I'm going to hold down the Shift key with the 2-sided cross, and I'm going to bring it in. And all you really want, my computer's been doing that lately. It just keeps going. All you really want is those 2 parts hitting. The truck can actually go past. So I don't even think I'm going to have to ungroup it. I'm going to use the virtual segment delete key, and I'm going to delete that line and that line. And the other lines are not a hairline right now, kind of irritating. So what I'm going to do to fix that, I am going to ungroup my truck, and I'm going to move this out of the way. Move this out of the way, put this back. And if I use my Smart Fill tool now, and then move it out of the way, then I can left click, right click, just make sure it's a hairline. See, it's not. So now the whole thing is a hairline. Take your truck, move it over. And because I nudged the whole time, I can nudge everything back. And there you have an ornament with a semi truck. And they have the word fleet. This truck doesn't, I mean, I still wish she would send me her truck, which is over here. And if she needs help doing, that's a cool truck. It's got a lot of knobs on the tire. But anyway, there's an ornament with a truck in the middle. That part's pretty easy. So everything will be cut out and you'll grade this and this and this. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.